guys having a good one. Of course, right as I sit down and hit live, somebody's outside making a bunch of noise. So if you hear that in the background, I apologize. I don't know what is going on. I think they're working on the street behind my place. But how is everybody? I hope you've been having a good week so far. This is a little bit different of a live. Usually I do things like this more over in Patreon, but I know not everybody's able to be in there right now. And I know a lot of you guys have been kind of going through it lately, or some people get triggered by winter time and the holidays. So I thought maybe we could just have a little bit of a hangout and support each other and just kind of chat and see how everybody is doing. So hey B, hey Preston, hi Irene, hey Amanda, hi Mimi. Of course, Preston, I'm the biggest advocate for mental health. I worked in mental health. I went to school for it. I've personally dealt with it myself. Had tons of my own family has mental health issues. So it's something that's always been an important cause for me. And I did monetize this video for a reason, because I have a client who is having a hard time right now being able to afford their treatment. So the proceeds from this video is going to be donated to them so that they can continue with what they need at this time. Hey Ashley, hi Donna, how are you? So, and if any of you are ever really struggling, you can always reach out. We are a community here. We're not just over here trying to be influencers. Like, that's never been the goal of me being on any social media platform or for this channel. It's always been about, you know, spirituality and being a community and a tribe. So we take care of each other over here. That's why I told you guys too, if you have a business and you need somebody to promote it, hit me up, psychicbowlove@gmail.com. So how is everybody? How are you guys doing? And we'll do more of these. We'll do them on the backup channel going forward. So make sure you subscribe to Psychic Bowlove Podcast. So yeah, I mean, that was always like my biggest thing that I said, that if I was, you know, rich, I would love to be able to open up centers, you know, in low income areas that would provide free mental health treatment and also classes like Reiki healing and meditation and yoga and things like that, because oftentimes, even when people can access things through like their local county mental health centers or behavioral health, depending on what it's called in their areas, you know, they're so overcrowded, overloaded, understaffed, underfunded that the most that they can do is just give people diagnoses and medicate them, but they're not able to really work with them to give them therapy or to provide, you know, the tools that we would want to be able to, like cognitive behavioral therapy and things like that, so that you can have your own, you know, kind of toolkit at home to like work through things on your own and try to, you know, have access to stuff like that. So that's the dream. That's the only reason why I would ever care about being rich, is to be able to do things like that. But anyways, since we can't, we do this for now, because I am nowhere near rich. Someday I will be, and someday that dream will come true. But for now, we are not. So we do what we can in the meantime. So, how is everybody doing? I have felt like since we went through the, what was it? The solar eclipse that co-occurred with the new moon in October. I felt like a lot of people went through some big changes, and big changes, good or bad, can be very scary. And I felt like a lot of people just got hit with like some kind of shock or sadness, and then it's sort of, like kind of been going on more and more and more and more and more since we've gone over the past few weeks. And so every time I tune into the collective energy, I feel like I want to cry for everybody because I just feel that energy is so strong. So, oh, thank you, Irene. And see, my goal with that too would be that like people that take the classes then would be able to get certified so that they could, go out and teach their community members how to do all the healings and everything too, and make it kind of that positive domino effect. So you're kind of excited for daylight savings time to be over. It'll be a chance to get better sleep. I'll miss the warmth and light though. Aw. I'm in California right now. This week it's a little bit cooler. It's like I've still had to turn on the AC. Like, don't get me wrong, because especially the way that like my condo is, because it's like on the corner, and we get full sunlight like all day long while the sun's out through most of the windows. Like where I'm sitting in my dining room, that's like, this is like the darkest spot in the whole house. So and then the way that like these units are set up, like there's no like if you open up all the windows, there's no real good like airflow that goes through like the whole place. So once it gets hot in here, it's like it stays hot, like it gets trapped in here. So even if I've had to turn on the AC just for like an hour just to like cool it down because it gets way too hot. I mean, the good thing is that you can cook and let that like heat up the place sometimes, but it does get kind of annoying because I'm like, I would like to not have to turn on the AC. I would love to just be able to have the windows open and get fresh air, but it usually takes until the very end of November, sometimes not even until like the middle of December for it to like feel like it's winter here. And then by the time we get to the middle of February, we're already in spring. So this last year when it was like raining a lot, that was like the coldest, wettest winter we've had in a long time. But because it kept raining so late into the year and it was so like dark and dreary, like I started feeling like, oh my God, I can't wait for the sun to be out and I can't wait for summer. And usually like us Californians like bitch about like, oh my God, it's gonna get hot soon and why can't we have more of a winter and everything. But I was just like, oh my God, I don't think I would be able to survive in some place like Minnesota where it has like super long winters, or like Seattle or the UK where it's like gray and dreary all the time. Like I feel like I would have the worst seasonal depression. So shout out to those of you that manage with that, because I would not be able to handle that. You've had to turn on the heater and you're in the South. Oh, well, isn't there like a cold snap going on? I mean, that's kind of, from what I was reading online, they said it was gonna affect every single state except for Florida. So I think that's why it's been kind of like cooler here, because it's kind of cold in my house right now, but I'm not gonna dare turn on the heater because I know I'll regret it later. So I was just kind of like shivering through the mornings lately. Okay, Preston. Well, we will miss you, but we always enjoy seeing your comments in the replay crew. So I appreciate that you were able to be here at all, babe. And shout out to the replay crew. I appreciate all of you. And so you can't be bothered to do anything right now. Winter isn't for you anymore. You used to love it. Aww. See, I welcome it for like a month. And then after that, I'm like, okay, it's cold and I don't like it anymore. That's why every time I'm like, I hate California and I want to leave. And then people are like, where would you go? And I'm like, I don't know. Because I don't know how much of the weather I could handle, like other places. And then the places that like, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I could handle like parts of like Nevada, not the Lake Tahoe area because it still gets too cold there, but like, you know, or Arizona or New Mexico. And then y'all got scorpions and those scare the absolute shit out of me. Like, and snakes. Like, I was like, I don't know. And then like, I see people literally that like put like mason jars around like their freaking like bed frames, the posts on the bed frames to catch like the scorpions so that they'll fall off and like won't go like into the bed. And I'm like, what in the hell? Like, I don't think I could live like that. Like, that would scare me. That's why I would never want to live in Australia either, because when I was a little kid, somebody told me that snakes come up through the toilet, and I became terrified of like using public restrooms. And because I was like, well, I know we don't have snakes in the toilet in my house, but I don't know about the toilet at school. And so then like everybody's like, no, that doesn't happen. And I eventually got over it. And thanks to the internet, I found out that that shit does happen in Australia. And I was like, oh my God, my worst fear from childhood is a real thing. And I was just like, no. Hey Dee, how are you, babe? You like being at home cozy and watching movies when you were a kid, but now going to uni or work and it being dark afterwards is not fun. That's the thing that I used to not not like when I did work outside of the house, was like in the mornings when you're going to work and it's still kind of dark, and then you know you're inside at work all day long while it's light outside, and then you get out and it's dark again. Like, ugh. Just, you would feel like you just missed out on everything. Frogs scare you more than snakes. We used to find frogs in our backyard all the time when I was growing up. So, I mean, they gross me out. Like, I don't like reptiles and I don't like rodents, but they're not as scary to me as snakes are. Australia's the devil's lair. It rains spiders too. Oh, hell no. I wish I could hibernate, just sleep and come out refreshed for the spring. That sounds like a dream. Especially because like my sleep has been so messed up lately. So that would literally be a dream. That's what like kind of sucks about this time of year too, because I get up at 4:30 in the morning. And so, you know, regardless of what time of year it is, when I first get up, it's still dark. But like, then when it's like, okay, I've been up for 3 hours and the sun is barely starting to come up now, it just feels like so weird. I don't know, but because during the summer, it's like, okay, like within like half an hour, 45 minutes of me getting up, like it would get light out. And so I'd take my coffee and like go sit on the patio and watch the birds and drink my coffee and like get some sun. And I feel like that would like give me good energy to start the day. And now I'm like, oh, well, I can't just go get my little burst of sun to like help me like wake up when I'm having my coffee. So I'd be listening to like dance music in the morning, trying to help like get me there. So, and that's something that is important, you guys, because I know a lot of people that watch my channel are not, you know, in the States. So it is summertime where they are. So if you are able to do that, do try to get some sun like early in the morning and take advantage of that, because the sun really does heal. It gives us vitamin D. You know, we don't want to obviously go out like and tan, but you know, just spending 5 or 10 minutes outside is enough to kind of recharge your batteries like on a soul level, and that definitely helps with mental health. And other things that are extremely important is watching what you consume as far as entertainment goes. You know, if you're listening to music that's like all about like going through hard times or breakups or being angry at your parents or whatever, like that's gonna affect your mood. Whereas if you make the real conscious effort to listen to music that has a higher vibration, that's why I like dance music, that will definitely help like lift your mood. And whatever you do, you know, try to craft a morning routine that is about raising your vibrations, getting some sun, listening to, you know, high vibe music, doing other things that make you feel positive and happy to start off your day. And you know, and it takes a couple weeks for you to really feel the full effects, but once you do, you will notice how much your day changes. Yeah, put on your summer playlist during winter for sure. And then at nighttime, I like to make a whole little routine, because obviously I'm in people's energy all day long. I'm a super empath, so like when I go to stores, I get so freaking overwhelmed being around a lot of people. I know people make fun of me because I get like a lot of stuff. Well, right now I kind of have no choice because I don't have a vehicle at the moment. But and in California, good luck to everybody that doesn't have their own vehicle, because our public transportation sucks and we don't have the best walkable places to get around easily without a vehicle. But I get a lot of stuff delivered just because it's like, do I want to mess up my energy going to the grocery store, or is it worth paying the extra 10 or 15 bucks to get it delivered to my house instead? And then it's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna get it delivered because I can just stay in my little cocoon and listen to Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston until it does. And then I don't have to like pick up everybody's energy while I'm there. But I, you know, do a lot of stuff in the evening to try to make sure that I'm like releasing energy that isn't mine. So that way I can calm down and refocus into just being Bella the person and not Bella the psychic, and take nice relaxing showers or a bubble bath, and I put on relaxing things to watch in the evening, and I go in my room and get in bed probably like an hour before I actually like really try to fall asleep, and I watch things like ASMR Twix or Shilly TV, where they go to like the Japanese head spa places, because that's like so relaxing to me. I don't like any other kind of ASMR though. And honestly, those are the only two channels that I can handle watching for that kind of stuff anyways. But I just do that, and it's like it puts me in that like, okay, we're relaxing, because when you go to bed holding on to everybody else's energy, it's going to affect yours. You don't sleep right. And then that throws our mental health off, where it does give you a lot of anxiety. And I think something that, you know, when we talk about people having anxiety, is that a lot of people don't realize that they are sensitive to other people's energies, and they may be a bit of an empath. And so a lot of times that like just generalized anxiety that comes out of nowhere is coming because you're carrying around other people's shit, and your own system is like, this isn't mine, and it's like freaking out, you know? So that's why it's important to do things where you are releasing that. And so something that's really helpful for that is breathing exercises, because you can do them quickly and wherever you are. So it's just taking a deep breath in through your nose to either a count of 3 or 6, blowing it out through your mouth to a count of 3 or 6, and every time that you take it in through the nose, you want to let that air, kind of fill up your whole body, and imagine that it's like a magnet collecting and gathering all the energy that doesn't belong to you and all the energy that isn't conducive to you, and you release it on each breath out, and then you repeat that either 3 or 6 times, and at the end you do one last deep breath in, and you imagine a healing golden light that comes around you and covers you like a bubble, and you're saying to yourself, I'm calling back in my own positive healing energy. And that's a really quick, easy reset. You don't have to say any of this stuff out loud. You can say it in your mind to yourself, but it really does help. Something else that I think isn't talked about enough, because, when we meditate and things like that, stuff comes up, right? And you have to physically release it off of your body. So what I like to do is I like to go outside and do a quick little 5-minute walk and move my arms around while I'm doing it. I might look like one of those power walkers or whatever. And it's really because I'm physically getting that energy and everything that came up during the meditation off of me. And if you have a backyard, you can go out there and do it. If you have a patio, you can do it if you don't care about what your neighbors think of you. Like, I stopped giving a fuck when anybody thinks about me a long time ago. But it's, we have to consciously remember that every time that things come up, we have to do something to release it. It's not just about the simple fact of, well, I recognize that I'm anxious about these things, or this is something that I have to work on. We have to make sure that we're always releasing, because we can't hold on to it, and we won't fully get past it if we don't do something to release that. And remember too, just with everything as well, whatever we remove, we want to replace it with something better. So when we sage, you want to make sure that you do something that's going to bring in positive energy, which is where you would want to light a candle, burn some incense, Palo Santo. If you do, cleansing baths, then you want to make sure that you're doing sweetening baths that are going to bring in better things for you. So that way you can, make sure that you're filling up that space, because we don't want to make space for other negative things to come in. We want to remove it and then bring in better to take its spot. We will be sending you prayers, Amanda. I did that the other day because things were wild and it works so well. Breathing and praying is awesome. It really is. Social anxieties hold you back. I gotta get over it. Caitlin, I'll do that in another video, because otherwise then we're going to end up sitting here talking about other stuff, because this is more of a mental health thing today than doing spiritual baths for work like that. But a sweetening bath is just basically, you can put rose petals in it or whatever. It's anything that is using a sweet herb. We use bitter herbs to remove and sweet herbs to replace. Well, that's the thing too, that also with everything in life, what works for one person isn't always going to work for everybody else. There's a lot of people that think like acupuncture has done amazing things for them, whereas for me, it's never done anything for me. But acupressure has definitely helped me at times with certain stuff. So, what that's why I always tell everybody too, like, if you feel like when you're trying to manifest stuff, like, oh, like burning candles doesn't work for me, but a vision board might work for you instead. That's why it's important that we try different things and see what resonates and what we feel works best for us, so that we can have that little spiritual toolkit that we're utilizing, you know, when we do have the stuff come up, so we're not scrambling in the moment. And I was going to make a video about this for Patreon, but I'll just talk about it in here. I personally, which my grandpa says too, like, this was a conversation that I'd had with my grandpa one time. He said that he felt like our family curse was that we all have anxiety. And he was like, he had, because he's no longer with us, PTSD from fighting in World War II. And he thought maybe like it was something that either he picked up from there, or like it manifested in him and he passed it along to all of us or whatever. But I've had anxiety my whole life. And like when I was a little kid, like when I think back, like there's so many times that I had anxiety attacks, but obviously like I didn't know like what an anxiety attack was then, so like no, that's what I was having. And I don't even know if people in the 80s and the early 90s even were that educated about it in the first place, that anybody would have known what I was going through. But it's something that I've, you know, dealt with my whole life. I don't like taking medications anyways, but I especially don't like taking medications that like, you know, kind of like make you, I don't know what you would call it, like numbs, or have that like tranquilizer effect, like, you know, anxiety medications usually do. Because I felt like, you know, it would kind of bring its own different set of problems. Like, okay, well, now I'm going to be all zombied out for the rest of the day, and everything else I wanted to do isn't going to get done. And then that would give me more anxiety later because I didn't get anything done. And so it just felt like it was this endless loop of never working. And I tried all of the, you know, meditation stuff that was like, imagine yourself in a field of flowers, you know, and all of the like guided meditations. And let me just tell you, for me at least, when my heart is beating in my ears and they're also ringing at the same time, and I can't catch my breath, and I feel like I'm having a stroke or a heart attack, it's really hard for me to imagine myself in a field of flowers, no matter who is telling me to do it. So, something that my therapist taught me is to lean into it. Because the whole thing, and this, again, this isn't going to work for everybody. I'm telling you what's worked for me and what's helped me take control of my anxiety. Because I know that for me personally, having anxiety is about me feeling like I'm losing control, or I'm not in control of what's going to happen, or what's happening around me, or could potentially happen in the future, or whatever. And sometimes, you know, you're not even cognitively aware of why you're having a panic attack. And so what I do is I sit there and I think, you know, about what am I anxious about right now? And I always start off with goofy things, because what you're doing is you're measuring how you physically respond to each thing that you ask yourself about. So, you know, I'll be like, oh, are you worried that like McDonald's isn't going to have the clown out in front anymore? Obviously, that's not my fucking anxiety, you know, but it's because I'm not going to react to that. So I know that's not it. Are you afraid that, you know, there's not going to be any leaves on the trees anymore? No, that's not it. Are you afraid that if you go to the store, they're not going to have candy and you're going to want candy? No, that's not it. And then it's, are you anxious because of, you know, you're stressed out that maybe like you're not going to be able to pay this bill? And then it's like, okay, if I feel my chest tighten and my heart speeds up a little bit and my stomach starts to flip-flop, it's like, okay, that's where that is coming from. And then I know that I can talk myself down from the ledge from there. And so what I do is, it's really, you're afraid of not being able to do this because in the past, XYZ situation happened, and it's telling myself, that's not going to happen to you now. That was in the past. You have much more control over your life now. You make better financial decisions. You have money in savings. You even have a credit card in case of an emergency. And it's reassuring myself that I can handle that thing and that that thing is going to be okay for me. And you retrain yourself to calm yourself down doing that. You retrain yourself to believe in yourself and to trust yourself and to heal yourself. And, it's going to take probably 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before it really kicks in and does everything that you want it to do. But once it starts working, it starts working. And now I'm at the place where I can stave off any panic attack as soon as it starts by going through all those steps with myself. And so that has helped me a lot. Other people like tapping. That makes my anxiety a million fucking times worse. I cannot do that. So, there's those types of things that other people have found a lot of success with it. That doesn't help me. But, we have to practice with different things too and see what does resonate and work for us. But I know trying to run away from stuff only makes me feel worse. It's facing it head on and taking my power back is what makes me feel better. And especially if you do have PTSD or CPTSD, which is what I have, a lot of our trauma was because we didn't feel like we were in control and somebody else was in control and hurting us. So those are the things that really give us anxiety and set us off. And so when that's where your fears are coming from, then you want to try to do things where you can learn to reassure yourself and take your power and control back. So you get stressed from world events and then have to tell myself that it probably won't affect me, but if it does, then I'll face it with spirit on my side. Yeah. I just remind myself when stuff like that happens, that it may not affect me, but I am aware of it so that I can prepare so that should it affect me, I'm already one step ahead and I won't be caught unaware, if that makes sense. And that is, again, taking that power back by being like, well, now we know what's going on so we can be ready in case that comes our way. So, hey, Amanda. Welcome. Sound frequency works best for you, Lindsay. Well, you can put it in the comments here. I just don't want you guys sharing other readers just because, like I said, it just causes so much drama. I wish we could, but it's too much. So it's not worth the stress that comes with it. But stuff like that, you can share it in the comments. Unless it is like a bunch of specific videos and you feel it's easier to just make a list of it and send it to her separately. Another channel that I do like too that has some really great like hypnosis meditation videos is Michael Sealey, and it's Sealey. I think his channel is listed under music. He has videos for literally everything, like motivating yourself for a keto diet, like putting yourself in the mindset to like get a job when you're going to go on an interview, quitting smoking, sleeping better, releasing yourself from negative thought patterns. And the way that his videos work, they're not like the typical guided meditation. It is about putting you in that like relaxed hypnosis state, and then he communicates with your subconscious and like helps you reprogram that. So he always recommends that you like lay down and take a nap and don't plan on going anywhere for at least a few hours, and then maybe do it like at nighttime when you listen to the videos. I love those videos though, because some of them are just like I said, you know, it's like some of it like I don't even want to sit there like, you know, I can't follow somebody else's guided meditation. So I always fall asleep listening to his videos. But when I wake up in the morning afterwards, I feel like I had an amazing night of sleep. And it's like, I don't know what changed, but I can just feel like something's different in a better way afterwards. So, inner lotus music is so nice. The inner child healing and 111 hertz spiritual cleanse are my favorites. Yeah. We put a lot of those on too. I think that's the channel I usually put on, Lindsay. Because I played a lot of that kind of stuff for Whitney to help her, because she was definitely full of trauma and anxiety when I first got her. So we have worked through a lot of that. Although, that's why when people are like, oh, Winnie's so cute, I'm like, yeah, she's a lot to deal with though, trust me. And she can definitely be a mean little bully sometimes too. But we love her. So, yeah, there are some channels though that you do have to be careful with. If anything doesn't sit right with your spirit, back away immediately and change it to something else. I mean, that's how I feel every time I see a picture of Doja now. I'm just like, I just want to like run in the opposite way away from her. Like, just my soul is like, do not engage, do not engage, do not engage. So, yes, Winnie said she is the legend, she is the moment, and she is an icon. So, but what is stuff that you guys have seen that has worked for you that you would like to share with everybody too? If you have any things to share. As soon as Robot finishes her, Doja has her tour. Yeah. What do we think of subliminals? What do you mean about subliminals? Because that could mean anything. I got her a water fountain that she refuses to use. And I was just thinking, why does it sound like there's a clock ticking? Because I don't have any analog clocks that would be ticking like that. And I just was like, oh wait, it's coming from the fountain, and that sounds very odd. Let me unplug that, because she doesn't even use it anyways. So we're just wasting electricity, I guess. Like, that noise is gonna drive me crazy. Wasn't making that noise before right now. Burning incense seems so simple, but it works to help calm my mind, specifically frankincense and myrrh together. Those are my two of my favorites. If you guys didn't know too, like, you can get a lot of like really affordable stuff for like spiritual supplies from Walmart. And they have some really good but really cheap incense where it's like $1 or $2 a pack. They have some sandalwood incense that smells so good. And then they also have frankincense and myrrh. And if you order from Amazon, there is the HEM brand, and they have the best incenses, and you can get them like in different variety packs where it'll have like, 10 different kinds, and it's like 10 or 15 bucks. And I love like their call money incense. It helps a lot. I always like put that up on my altars when I'm doing money work too. But frankincense and myrrh, that's those smells. I love them. Your mom just came home with a bunch of incense from Africa. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's why I love lighting candles too, because I feel like it just makes things nice and relaxing for me, and like puts me like in that mind space of really being, like, okay, this is what we're doing. And obviously depending on like what types of candles they are, because obviously like I light my spiritual candles and I'm like in my spirit zone. And then in the evening I like to light my scented candles because they put me in wind down, relax mode. And I know somebody asked me about all the candles I have up here. They're not up there for any real specific reason right now. This is not an altar by any means, guys. Just to also clarify, if you ever want to change up the energy in your home, like you feel like it's stagnant and you've saged and opened windows and you still feel that way, move at least 7 items around. And it doesn't have to be that you move all your furniture, because especially like for me in my living room, there's only one real like decent way that you can have the furniture set up, or else you're gonna have the sun's glare on the TV all the time, or you're gonna be like tripping over yourself to like get around the couch or whatever. So it's just about moving energy so you can move little things around. So that's why like you'll see like my background changes sometimes, because I move things around all the time. But I also have underneath this table, I have 2 storage ottomans, and one of them's full of my candles that I use for spiritual stuff. These are just the ones that didn't fit in there. So I was going to try to arrange them in a somewhat cute way on top of the table, since they didn't fit in my container. But once I use up some of the candles in there, then you won't see them back here anymore, and you'll see something else. Although, look how cute. Okay, that's Archangel Michael, obviously. This is Venus, aka Aphrodite in the Greek gods. And I was like, hey, shout out Venus, because I'm a Libra. And this is Terra in the Roman gods, or Gaia in the Greek gods. So aren't they pretty? And she got a booty on her too. My neighbor gave me these as a gift when she was moving. She had ordered them for me as a thank you for me helping her move. So I love them. You're afraid of candles? Oh, why are you afraid of candles? Your sister from the same planet, right? Does burning charcoal cleanse the energy like sage does? Yeah. You can also use tobacco. You can burn tobacco to get rid of spirits, or to protect your space from negative spirits coming in if you do a lot of work like with your ancestors. And you want to make sure that only the right spirits are coming in, and you can also use them as offerings too, because I'm not a smoker, but I always have cigarettes around because I use them sometimes to after I did mediumship readings, or I will put them up like when I'm doing rituals as offerings for the ancestors and to protect the space too. And that's something too, guys. If you do smoke marijuana, tobacco, vape, whatever, no judgment. I'm like, as I have my own marijuana vape right here next to me. But but set intentions with it. You can set intentions with anything. So, and remember, you can manifest mental health. Like, you can set the intention that like you're gonna heal, or that you're gonna have less anxiety, or that you're gonna overcome something that's been holding you back. Like, we don't only have to manifest money and physical things, but you know, you can set the intention that like when you inhale, that you're inhaling the energy of like the thing that you want to manifest, and that when you blow it out, you're blowing it out into the universe, and that they're receiving your intention to get to work on it. So dragon blood is best for you because you don't like the tobacco smell. Yeah, dragon's blood works good for that too. So, yeah, meditation and weed can be amazing sometimes. Is it the same charcoal that's used to start grills? No. That I wouldn't use the charcoal that people use to start grills for that, for a couple reasons. Number one, it's going to be hard to keep it lit. You get the charcoal discs that they use to burn frankincense and myrrh on top of, because you can get it in the incense form, or you can get it in the little crystals. And they use the same little charcoal discs, I think, for like hookah too, right? Now that I thought about it. But you want to use those types because the charcoals from the barbecue won't stay lit, and then on top of it, they put so many chemicals in them that you probably don't want to be breathing that inside your house like that. Yeah, that's what I do too, Hannah. I just don't have any charcoal discs right now. I ran out. Otherwise, I would pull them out to show you guys. But no, I don't, Sana. I can't even tell you what order any of my cards are supposed to be in to start anyways, but I don't read tarot in any way that other people do. I only read it intuitively. So I don't know anybody that does read tarot that puts them back in order. I just shuffle them up a bunch after I'm done doing a reading with them, and then put them away, and however they ended up being shuffled at. But I mean, the only time I ever use my tarot cards, honestly, is just like on here. And it's just because it's that layer to keep me from connecting to all these people's energy. Like, I still connect to it, but like not as deeply as I would if I was like, didn't have, you know, a divination thing in front of me to kind of block and absorb some of it, because I don't want to, you know, connect that closely to like Beyonce's energy or somebody else's. When it's you guys, it's different because you guys aren't Satan worshipers. But when it comes to these industry people, I'm like, let's just kind of do whatever we can to put some space between them and me. No, I mean, do what you feel like you want to do. I'm just saying, I don't know anybody that does. So I don't think it's something that people do. I mean, they might, but I don't know anybody that does. Yeah, those pucks are super expensive. You can get them, you know, online, Amazon, Walmart. Even thinking about them puts you in a low vibrational place. Yeah. So that's why most people don't read for themselves, Mimi. Because listen, I can read for myself on like shit that I don't really care about. But if I'm really like, oh, I really want this thing to happen, or I want to know about somebody that I like or whatever, like, no, I can't, because I'm too emotionally attached to it. And then I'm going to be sitting there being like, well, how can we make the Tower card be a good thing in this situation? It's like you start finding yourself trying to bargain with things the way that you want it to be rather than being objective about it. And so that's why a lot of people don't read for themselves, and that's what I have Carlene for, because Carlene reads for me when I'm like, okay, I need a reading. I don't get readings very often myself though, but when I do, I'm like, okay, I need to go talk to Carlene. We all can be Delulu, okay? And yes, the Tower card of love. Waking up comes with a bit of depression. It does, because at first, because it's like once you realize like everything is like basically been lies and things in history didn't work the way that they tell us that it did, and people are capable of, or far more people than we give credit to, are capable of some really horrendous shit sometimes. But then you also get to the place, like, after you get through that, where you're just kind of like, you know what? Fuck everything. Like, I don't need to take you stop taking so much shit as seriously as you would have before, because you see through all the illusions. And then you stop really giving a fuck what other people think about you. Like, it gives you this freedom, but you have to push through like kind of, acceptance and grief stage. But once you get to the other side of it, you have this like freedom that like you never imagined that you would have, like, mentally. And you do feel very powerful. And you do feel like, okay, I'm able to cope with a lot of different stuff. And I feel like it also puts into perspective like what matters and what doesn't. These are the bigger picture things that I should be concerned about, and all the other stuff is just kind of crap that really doesn't matter, and I can deal with it, or whatever. So I love past life readings because I really do feel like they unlock a part of you, or at least have like an explanation, when we do have some of those kinds of like fears that we don't know where they came from. Like, where people will be like, oh, since I was a little kid, I was always afraid of water. And then they find out that they like drowned in a past life. And it's like, that makes sense. And so you really do get to connect to a part of yourself that is beyond this lifetime, and understand like key things that make up like who you are now and how you came into this lifetime. And a lot of our strengths come from our past lives. Sometimes we have like our sense of humor from our past life, where we're very determined to accomplish certain things in this lifetime because that was a mission that we took on in a past life, and we didn't really get to finish out that mission. So it's like, if we're super like I'm all about, trying to help people with a certain thing. And I'm just going to use myself for an example, like with their mental health. And it's like maybe you lost your battle with mental health in a past life and you came into this lifetime determined to not only overcome that for yourself in this life, but help others down that same path. So I think that, it's important that we do what we can to get to know ourselves, good and bad. And honestly, that's another part of like getting over things and helping to heal yourself from stuff is being aware of where you fall short and what your faults are and the things that maybe you're like you don't see as so great about yourself, but finding ways to embrace it or deal with it. Like, I always say, like, I don't have the patience. I really don't have the patience. It's not that I'm not capable of it. Patience is not my strong suit to begin with. And trust me, life has really tried to teach me some. Because I'm such like a solutions based person that like every time that there's like a problem, like I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit here and cry about it. I want to figure out what we're going to do about it. And I'll cry about it later when, after we fixed it. And so I already know, like, I don't have the patience to sit here and like fuck around with like technology all the time, like editing stuff and this and that. So rather than sitting here and stressing myself out and trying to force myself to learn how to do something that I'm not going to enjoy doing, I'll give up anyways because I'm going to be pissed off that I'm doing something I don't want to do. And I won't be good at it. I'm just like, what you see is what you get. We hit record, we do our thing, then we hit end and we let it upload, and y'all will get a thumbnail. And that's the extent of me, like, trying to be Miss Little Tech Girl over here. And but on the flip side of that too, because like I'm gonna own it, so nobody's expecting like something from me that I can't deliver, and then I'm gonna be pissed off with myself and them for expecting shit from me. On the flip side of that, like when I really think about it, when people do try to be like, well, you should do this or that, it's like, yeah, but then if I did that, then you know how many people would be like, you're a fucking fraud, you edited this video, you changed it, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't need to edit videos that are readings on celebrities and whether they're gonna break up or not anyway. So I would rather focus on, let me go do a freaking spell and help somebody with that, or let me go take the time that I would have wasted trying to edit something and being pissed off and wanting to throw my computer across the room and crying and tearing my hair out, and take a client, and talk to them and help them with their problems, because that's the shit I'm good at. And so I own it, I have my Lisa Rinna moments. I own it, that's not what I'm good at and I don't want to do it. And that's fine. And you know what? I enjoy my life a lot more because I'm not forcing myself to try to do shit I don't enjoy and don't want to do. Just like I know that my shadow side trait is that I can be the pettiest fucking bitch in the entire world. And I do have an anger problem sometimes and a real fucking temper. And I own that. But I also remind myself, that sometimes it is justified to be Lilith. Sometimes people need you, when they're being a Karen. Sometimes it's justified for you to be like, well, you can be Karen. I'm going to be Katerina. The Russian Karen that's gonna out Karen you. But then putting into perspective of sometimes it really just is not worth lowering your vibration to those people. And I have to remind myself sometimes, like, yes, when I have to stand up for myself, I will. But other times, I'm gonna let the universe deal with you because they can fuck up your whole life, and all I'm gonna do is fuck up your week. And I would rather let them fuck up your whole life. So, you know, I don't stress out as much over wanting to fight everybody when I think about it in those terms. Can't wait till you get your own place. You'll become the witch you always wanted to be in peace. People will always try to take advantage of given the opportunity, for sure. And honestly, like the thing that like shocked me the most is, you know, doing this job is how much people think like, oh, like, you know, there's all these like psychics out there scamming people. And I'm not saying that there aren't, but also those are not real psychics if they're scamming people. Those are scammers pretending to be psychic. But on the flip side of that, nobody talks about how much like people try to scam psychics or expect that like, oh, well, you're supposed to like use your spiritual gifts for free. Well, where's the commune that Jesus built for spiritual people to live on that we don't have to pay bills? Because when you point it out to me and I can go live there and I don't have to pay for my electricity or my internet or my phone bill or my rent or my groceries or any of the other bills that we all have to deal with in life, then I can sit there and do readings for free all day long. But until that happens, I have to charge. And guess what? If I'm supposed to go work a day job so I can pay my bills, I am going to be too fucking tired. And I'm not going to have the time to do free readings either. Like, stop it. And these are the people that they wouldn't do jack shit. They wouldn't even give a homeless person $1, but they expect that psychics need to give them free readings. Like, kiss my ass with that one. You wouldn't work for free, so don't expect other people to do it. Especially because those of us who are really real psychics and witches and healers, we invested a lot of time and money into our businesses, our craft, getting trained ourselves, you know, going to classes, taking workshops, learning about certain things, having to pay for websites, having to pay for spiritual supplies. Like, we didn't just sit there and wake up one day and get on Instagram and be like, I'm psychic now. I wish that's how it worked, but it doesn't. So I wouldn't sometimes wonder if we come into contact with our bloodline from a past life, like you were my 32nd great grandchild from previous me. Yeah, we do. That's what our soul tribe is that we come back in communication and in connection with each other throughout, you know, different lifetimes. I mean, honestly, most of us are not strangers to each other. We're just being introduced to each other in this life. But we've already known each other at some point in some time in another lifetime. So that's like asking a doctor that's your friend to do surgery on you for free, right? I would be scared shitless to lie to a psychic. Like, I don't lie to Bella ever because it's like, what's the point? Let alone try to scam her. Like, she won't know. Well, I mean, it's just most of the time it's people that, you know, want to sit there and argue with me about why I should give them a free reading. Or my other favorite thing is, well, how about I give you $5? This isn't the flea market. We're not negotiating. Or give me one free question and then no, you can go watch my videos on YouTube. You can go read my reviews on my Instagram and the feedback I have on my website. Also, if you guys did want to send me feedback, because I should post them. I never ask for feedback. I always forget. You can email it to me, psychicbellalove@gmail.com. Put feedback in the subject line, please. So it doesn't, I don't mix it up and not know what it is. But we're not, you know, doing all that kind of stuff. But people try to, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like when people are like, oh, you can, what is the other thing I've seen people doing? Like the thing that like annoys the hell out of me that I can't believe that people have no conscience of doing is scamming small business owners. Because it happens to all of us where it's like they'll try to do a charge back and say they never got a reading. And guess what, boo-boo? That never works because my payment processor, by the time that I'm even aware that somebody tried to file a dispute, they've already been in negotiation and communicating with that person's bank and providing them receipts for everything. But secondly, you know, it's like, or they'll do stuff to people like, say like if Mimi had like a website where she's selling like, you know, hair care items, they'll get their shit and then claim they never received it and do a chargeback against her. And it's like, first of all, don't steal anyways. But secondly, if you're going to, can you do that shit to like Walmart, McDonald's? Like they deserve it, I'm sure, because they're probably corrupt somehow, some way. But why are you doing that to small business people when that little bullshit dispute that you filed just because you wanted your shit and you don't want to pay for it anymore could really mean that their kids don't have dinner for the next week, or that they can't pay to keep their website going or something like that? Like that's so messed up. And on top of it, if you didn't know, small business owners benefit their community more because we pay more taxes. We don't have all these giant corporate loopholes that we can jump through. So it's the small business people and the everyday people that are the ones that are keeping roads paved and schools open. It's not McDonald's and Walmart that's benefiting your community that way. So it's just so messed up. You spoke about that in class. If I get refunded extra by a huge company, I'm keeping it, but a small business, absolutely not. Why get on the bad side of a good spiritual person? Like people be so scared of getting on the bad side of evil people don't think twice about getting one over on good people. Yeah, you'll suffer far worse karma messing with the wrong people. My feedback would be to make Whitney join the readings. Well, most people have heard Whitney in the background on one of their readings at some point anyway. Whitney participates in all the rituals. She loves to get her little witch on. The amount of taxes they charge small businesses is crazy. It really is. Like, I was talking to the guy that does my taxes, and I was like, do you, like, we were just talking about how basically, like, I could, like, based off of what I have to pay in taxes, and I'm not even saying I make that much money, but, you know, I work for myself, so instead of having it taken out of all of my, you know, paychecks, like, I have to take the money and set it aside on my own and pay it at the end of the year. And it's just like, I could have hired an assistant for how much I'm giving Uncle Sam, and I would so rather, like, give that to, like, another person and help them than give it to these corrupt-ass governments. You want Whitney's life advice? You're trying to enter your soft life glow-up era? Oh my God, she's had such an attitude lately. She might just tell you to get a knife and start going after people. Like, I don't know if we want to trust Whitney's advice right now. I'm not fussy like that either. I am far more forgiving of small businesses, but like, let Walmart mess with me and it's on. let them bring me the wrong thing in my delivery order. Oh, I'm going to make sure I get my refund and we're going to have a problem. But like, if I order tacos from a mom and pop shop and they give me carnitas instead of the carne asada, like, I'm gonna just like give the carnitas to somebody else and like be like, well, I guess I gotta go order more tacos. Like, I'm gonna make a big deal out of it. I don't eat pork, for anybody that was wondering why I wouldn't eat carnitas. So, let me see. Yeah, those DoorDash videos of people lying about getting their food. Oh my God. Oh yeah, and the DoorDash drivers come back up and like bang on the door and they're like, I gave you your tacos. Listen, DoorDash sounds like a very stressful job and see, again, there's the whole knowing yourself. I know. I would not want to have to drive around in traffic, get in and out of my vehicle to go get food from a restaurant, put it in the car, try to figure out where the hell somebody lives, get back out of the car, take it to their house, and keep doing that over and over all night long. Like, I would be so stressed the fuck out trying to figure out where the hell is this person's apartment and their food's gonna get cold, and like, it wouldn't be something that I would enjoy doing. So we do not DoorDash. Dude, especially like I put the most detailed instructions along with, this is my phone number, call me if you get lost, when I am getting anything delivered where I live, because a sadist designed this place that we live at. Every single building, there's like 160 units, I think, like my neighbor was telling me, in our complex. Multiple buildings, because every building only has 4 units in it, so that's a lot of buildings. Every single one of them is the same exact color. There are no signs anywhere except for one little sign in front of each parking lot that just says units XYZ through XYZ on down this way. But if you look at the parking stall numbers, they're completely different than what the unit numbers are. We don't have like building A or building 1, none of that. And then all of the buildings like face this way, but all the doors, which are the only thing that has our numbers of each unit on it, are on the side. So I will look out and see poor delivery people wandering around, and then they're asking us, do you know where number 113 is? And we're like, no, because like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't even tell you what the freaking people that live right across from me's unit number is, much less where 113 is. So I just like, I feel so bad for anybody that ever has to deliver over here. I literally will put, I will meet you at the curb, because I be feeling so bad for everybody. Don't play with DoorDashers. They don't get paid enough and put up with the most nonsense because people don't think what they do is a real job. A lot of them don't care anymore, so don't try it. Yeah. Customer service would be my personal hell, because if a Karen comes on my line, I would lose my mind. Yeah. You've realized that you don't like working of any form. You want to be artsy and unemployed. I only cry when I gotta working for other. Propensity is not for you. I'm sorry, Sana. Fair warning, they know where you live and have your food, so be careful. That's also the thing. Like, why would you be rude to the people that have the food that you're going to eat in your possession? Like, I've never understood that. Like, when people go be so rude to, like, wait staff at restaurants or, like, to their DoorDash delivery people, I'm like, you just want your food to get spit in, don't you? Because I'm too scared like that somebody's gonna do something like that. Like I be scared as fuck, like wherever I go, like if they bring me the wrong food or like there was something wrong with it, like, oh, I asked for like medium well and you gave me medium rare, like, no, I'm gonna sit there and choke down the medium rare food or just not eat it because I'm not trying to send it back and then God knows what happens to it in the back. That's my biggest fear. Like, I hardly ever go out to eat because I am so scared of like germs and stuff, anyways. But, like, oh my God, that would, like, people, you don't know what you're playing with. Like, don't mess with the people that like have control over your food. The most miserable people work at the DMV in the Passport Administration Office. You know what's so crazy is, not that I go to the DMV a lot, but I'm trying to think. I've been to the DMV where I live probably like 3 or 4 times. They don't actually seem like they hate their jobs at the DMV that I go to. And I will give them that. The airport, though, I can only imagine what the poor people that work at the airport deal with, though. On the other side of that, the people at the airport is the reason why I refuse to fly anymore, too, though. Because I experienced way too much, like, bad things by having a Middle Eastern last name at the airport to where I was just like, I am never flying again because this just makes me, like, not good experiences. Like, I don't even care about actually getting on the plane. It's the, what are they called? The people at the airport. Oh my God. I was going to say TMZ. I'm like, you guys, I'm so famous that every time I go to the airport, TMZ's there, and like it just makes me not want to fly anymore because like I'm just trying to get to my car with my luggage and not have to do another freaking paparazzi interview. TSA. TSA. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm good on that. After you've got taken in the back quite a few times and questioned about every single thing in your life because you're a white girl with a Middle Eastern last name, you will hate flying. You delivered for Uber Eats and your first delivery was a nurse at a big ass hospital. For the life of me, I couldn't find her office and called her many times to come to the main entrance to grab her food. Turns out her office wasn't a part of the hospital that was remodeled, and next to the ER, there was so much chaos. Oh my God, that sounds like my worst nightmare, Teddy. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. Airport shenanigans are definitely different. Did you know back in the 70s, air travel was so iffy, there was life insurance kiosks for people boarding the plane? Oh my God. Listen, Hannah, they're only at LAX. That is it. And they're only at certain parts of LAX too. And it's very easy for you to go to the airport and not run into TMZ even at LAX. If y'all didn't know, 99% of these people call the paparazzi on themselves. The guy that used to work for TMZ, what was his name, Morgan, that has the bleach blonde hair, he exposed the shit out of that, both during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, but also on he has his own channel. I forget what it's called on YouTube, but he was talking about how, like, it doesn't really make sense. You know, TMZ isn't just going to wander around random places hoping to catch a celebrity, because you could spend all day like wandering around up and down the streets trying to run into a celebrity and waste all your time. And the whole goal is for them to sell those pictures to magazines or to have the story for TMZ or whatever. And so it's like, no, they work with the celebrities or their PR people, and they will get a call and it will say Rihanna's gonna be at Giorgio Baldi's tonight with ASAP Rocky at 11 p.m. if y'all want to come and like get pictures of her. And that's how it works, you know. And then also, like, if you see Batgrid is like the #1 company that works with celebrities, and I guess like they have like some kind of an agreement too that they'll like split the proceeds from photos that they sell with the celebrity. I heard that they have like some kind of an app or something that they sign into and say, oh, such and such person is gonna be here or there, you know. So it's not like it was like back in the day. Like things are completely different now. So there are certain places that they know like that's a celebrity hotspot, so they hang out in front of it regardless, like Craig's in LA, like they're always parked out there because that's a huge celebrity hangout place, or like the Nice Guy, or you know, certain gates at LAX or whatever. But for the most part, you know, when they're like, oh, look, stars, they're just like us. We saw Kirsten Dunst at Whole Foods in the Valley. Like, no, the paparazzi were not hanging out in the Valley at all the grocery stores. Kirsten Dunst publicity person called you and told you that she was going to be there. And you see ASAP Rocky making the paparazzi he called on himself chase him down the street. He better have paid her extra. Well, and let me tell you, a lot of times when you see the paparazzi harassing Kanye, that's because Kim called the paparazzi on him. Because she likes to, you know, throw rocks and hide her hands, and she knows that that's going to drive Kanye crazy because he hates the paparazzi. So it's like, oh, let me call them and tell them that we're all going to be at Saint's soccer game later, so that way they'll go chase Kanye for pictures and piss him off. So the food at those celebrity hotspots is trash. Oh my God. Do you guys, well, I think a lot of you that are in this chat are maybe too young to remember, but there was this place called the Ivy. It's still there, but it was like the celebrity place to be at during like the whole Juicy Couture sweatpants, Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, you know, era, and in the early mid 2000s. Their food is so boring, overpriced, not worth it. Like, I've had a bazillion better things to eat at freaking Applebee's and Sizzlers in my life than I had there. But everybody wanted to sit out on the patio and get papped. So that's why they would go there, but it's so not worth it. Paparazzi, good morning. Kanye, shut the fuck up. Listen, they were outside of his house at freaking 4 o'clock in the morning. Can you blame him? I'd be telling him to shut the fuck up too. I hopped off the plane at LAX with a dream in my cardigan. I want to see this part again because the way that Camilla did that was so beautifully done. Wait, I missed something. Whose part? Yeah, Giorgio Baldi. I haven't eaten at Carbone or Baldy, but from other people that I know that aren't being paid to write about it, who've actually had decent Italian food in their lives, they've all said that it is literally like just barely one step above the Olive Garden. Except at least at the Olive Garden, you're going to make sure that you leave full because they give you enough food. Whereas like you're going to have to order like 6 plates of like nasty, underdone, under-seasoned, tiny plates of pasta to like get the same amount of food. So, oh, Morgan, yes. Oh my God. Sometimes just when I want to laugh, I watch clips from the Depp Heard trial because the way that Elaine kept getting so flustered, Camille, her one-liners that she would deliver and the way that she was just like, I am not going to let you get away with any of your little bullshit excuses, Miss Turd. Miss Heard! Miss Heard! Answer the question, please. And then Turd, my dog stepped on a bee. And then, and her directly talking to the jury every time, like, there was just so many like entertaining things that came out of that trial. But oh my God, how anybody could still be on Amber's side or feel bad for her if you even watched like 10 minutes of that trial. I'm like, were you on mushrooms? Did you watch the same thing that the rest of us did? Because she was the most horrible liar and actress. Like, I would never even want to watch her act in a video ever again after the way that she conducted herself during that trial. Like, girl, like, you're supposed to be an actress. Like, you couldn't even pull your shit together and someone act like a normal human being when you're in a trial and, getting sued for however $10 million or whatever that was. So, which, did you hear that her and Johnny like settled everything to where she just had to give him like $1 million to pay the lawyer's bills, and then they just like called it even Stevens, done with each other, just so he could be completely done with her and move on with his life. So, which again, with Carlos's lawsuit against Tasha, I was just like, well, I thought you were supposed to be super rich, and because Johnny's not that rich anymore, if y'all didn't know that. Like, he lost the whole, Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and at the same time, he found out that his manager was stealing from him and mismanaged a bunch of his money, and that he was basically going broke. And so, when Amber tried to like post that video that she took of him, like thinking that she was being cute and undercover of him slamming cabinets, that was because he found out that he lost like $100 million. And that was his reaction to that phone call. And so, he could forgive her owing him $10 million and just be like, just pay off my lawyers and like, we're done and I just want to move on with my life. So, Miss, I'm so rich, I never have to work a day in my life if I don't want to. Why are you hounding Tasha so bad then? Because Amber actually had the opportunity, given her career and her connections to people like Elon Musk, that at some point in time she could have paid the $10 million back to Johnny. Whereas, like, do we really think Tasha K would ever really have $4 million extra to give to Carlos? No. So, It's just like, come on. Teddy, yes, I posted that video. Well, it wasn't the whole video about that, but it was talking about that in Patreon. Because it was the one where it was Morgan's actually, where he was talking about it. And I said, look at that, because he said that Warner is going to get sold to Atlantic, or Warner will be ending up being sold or acquired by Universal at some point in the next year or two. And so I was like, well, Carlos better watch out, because when the company that owns the company you work for gets sold, the first thing that happens is people get let go, because the new company obviously wants to make their money back off of the money that they invested in acquiring them. And if you're just dead weight, they're going to cut you from the roster. Either way, she ain't going to have a record label for a whole lot longer. Either Atlantic will drop her or Universal will once they own Atlantic. But that was the thing where she tried to say that Jason Momoa was dressing like Johnny Depp. I was like, how? Jason Momoa is always dressed like that. Like, where have you been, girl? Like, you could pull up pictures of him, because Johnny Depp kind of has that, like, bohemian thing about him. Jason Momoa was married to Lisa Bonet, who's like the queen of the bohemians. He's dressed like that. He's either Mr. Jungle Boy, you know, with the wearing the like jungle skirts and stuff, or he dresses more like boho rocker. But I never was like, oh, he's trying to copy Johnny Depp. I was just like, well, that's his vibe, and it makes sense with who he was married to and had kids with. But she's so fucking weird. I really am just gonna keep praying that not only does Tory get his appeal, but also he needs to demand that it is televised. That was the best thing that Johnny Depp could have ever done for himself, because I've always said this, if we hadn't had cameras in there, imagine we could have had somebody like Megan Cuntiff. I know that's not her name, that's what I call her. That would have been in that courtroom and would have been reporting things however the fuck that she wanted to, and made it seem like Johnny was the monster in that situation. And people would have fell for it because they couldn't see for themselves the way that Amber was acting, for us to be able to be like, oh yeah, that girl's full of shit. The best thing that Brittany did was that she demanded that when she spoke to the court about her conservatorship, was that it was open to the public and that we all got to listen to her side of things, because that pressured them to do something and to get her dad away from her. So, you know, it's the same thing with Tory. Like, he needs to make sure that any appeal that he has, and if they do get a new trial, that he gets everything televised, so that way we, the people, can watch with our own eyes and see the way that everybody's speaking. Dirty lawyers and dirty judges won't be allowed to get away with playing all kinds of fucking games, because you have the whole world watching. And I think that that would change a lot of people's opinions, and they wouldn't be siding with a crying horse after that. A crying lion horse. So I know. That was cool of Rihanna, though, to put him in the Savage Fenty show. Because we've seen that Rihanna's dropped people that were Savage Fenty ambassadors for joking about things like DV. So that was really her co-signing and saying, like, he's the actual victim here and we're supporting him as a company. And I don't agree with like 99% of the stuff that Rihanna does, but that one I was like, that was cool, you girl. You forgot Jason Momoa was out here single. He is one fine ass man. He is. Jason's so hot to me. Do you guys like him? I've heard other people say that they weren't into him, but I thought he was fine as fuck. I think all of these things have shown men to be careful about the women they get involved with. Like, don't sleep with every woman that throws themselves at you. Well, and that's the crazy thing is, Amber was a celebrity and had her own career too. So you would think, same thing with the horse. Like, I could see how, like, guys like them, like, yeah, like, I might be a little bit more wary of a groupie, but if somebody's also in the industry, like, why would they want to risk their own career? Or, you know, they have their own shit going on, so they don't need to lie on me for clout or make up some bullshit to sue me to get a paycheck or whatever. So they probably thought, like, oh, it's safer because of that, but that's, like, so sad. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like super into, like, in my personal life, the overly big and buff thing, but there's just something about Jason Momoa that's just always been so attractive to me. And he seems like a cool dude. So, after that ad he did when he took off his muscle arms, I never looked at him the same. Wait, what? I'm gonna have to go, like, look that up. I've never saw that. Am I gonna get ruined? Is he gonna be ruined for me though? That's okay, Lindsay. Hi, Amy. The cat distribution system blessed Lindsay with another cat, so now she has a little black kitten, you guys. It's so cute. She named her after Amy Winehouse. How is Savannah doing with her? Is she has she accepted her, or is she still ignoring her? She turned the brightness all the way up. Amy's dropping her angel number. I was saying there that was an angel number. She's like, my life path number is a 5. She's like, I am a leader. She's so cute. Oh my god, you guys. The kittens outside are getting so freaking big. They're so cute. The only one that still doesn't let me pet it is Stevie, but he's always been the most skittish. He's a little tabby with white socks and a white face. He's the cutest, and like he just stares at you and he makes these little like really surprised expressions. Like he's adorable, but he's always been the most like, I'm gonna hang back from people. But Chance likes to roll around and stretch and show off what he can do. And that's what's so cute too. Like they love to show off and try to like be like, look what I can do. They're so freaking cute. So it's doing good out there. Do you know what's funny is that because I told the neighbor, like, if she wants it back, she can go get it. And she did. And it got out of her house too. She was like, that cat's like MacGyver. It climbed up her curtains. And I don't know how it got out, but she said that it was literally like climbed up her curtains at one point, and she said they're all shredded up, and I was like, orange cat behavior. I think mine's a 5 too, if I remember correctly. So but it's doing good outside. It's so cute. Its head is so big. Like, it's just gonna be one of those cats that kind of has like a big head, but it's like so cute on it. Like, it's not weird or anything. I noticed that this morning. So I was like, your head's so big in comparison to like the other cats. Like, it's like the same size as theirs, but they're like 10 times bigger than you. But and Tori's so sweet. Like, whenever I'm outside, if he sees me wherever I am, he comes running. Onika likes to have conversations with you. I wonder if she's mute though, because she like moves her mouth, but like no sound comes out. And they'll all be like meowing at me in the morning. And they all have the quietest little meows. There's like meow, 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 like little teeny little baby squeaks. But like, she's the only one that she does it, but like no noise comes out when she does it. But I know she can hear her because she comes running when I call her. And they all know what their names are too. But and Michael, little one-eyed Michael, he is the chattiest of them. You forgot. Mimi probably knows. I was like, Mimi will figure it out for you, Sana. To be honest, I'm only getting a pet if it's a black cat. Oh, I know. I have such a thing for black kitties. And Tori is so cute because you can't really tell like from pictures, but he's a black tabby. So he's actually striped, but his fur is black. So during the summertime when they were spending a lot of time outside and like it kind of bleaches like their hair during the summer from them being out in the sun all the time, like he looked like he had brown and black stripes on him, but now you can't really see the stripes as much, like because his winter coat's coming in, so it's like more black. But he's just so cute and so sweet. You realize that you like the smell of fresh books. I love that smell. Yes. She has little sprinkles of white hair all over. So does Onika too. Because Onika has the same markings where they have the little thing on the throat and then the bikini. I call it the necklace and the bikini, or the scarf and the bikini. But then throughout their back, they have little random white hairs all over the rest of their body. So I'm for sure not getting a pet anytime soon. I'm sorry, I can't. Yeah, that's totally normal for black cats. And you'll see the more she grows, she'll probably get more of them too. They're never 100% fully black usually. So, but especially if they do have the little white patches, then they're going to be more likely to have the blacks or the white little random hairs sprinkled out all over them. She does have really, really shiny fur though. Winnie takes more supplements, her and the kittens. They take more supplements and vitamins than I do. I honestly spend probably a car payment a month feeding all these animals. I'm not kidding. Yes, I make sure that they get like, you know, their little vitamins and supplements. I put like fish oil and turmeric and all kinds of stuff in their food. I make them food. I make them bone broth. I make sure that they're getting all their nutritional needs met, but still getting enough like carbs, the outside cats, so that they can stay full because they need the energy to be able to handle the cold out there. So I feel like I could be like a cat dietitian at this point. So, oh, that's so cute, Lindsay. Some people just have a deep fear of animals. Some people are like that. Listen, grew up always having pets. We always had cats. We always had dogs. And being just around animals in general, because my maternal grandpa always was like raising sheep or cattle or goats or emus or some crazy thing. And so he had oh my god, what are those called again? Peacocks at one point too. So I've grown up around animals my whole entire life, but like the majority of my adulthood, like I haven't had any pets because I was just, you know, not in a position where I felt like I was ready to be responsible or wanted to worry about that being an issue if I had to move or something. So, well, that's why you get a little black kitty, Sana, because they are descendants of Black Panthers. Fishes who would die every month. I don't, it's not that I don't like fish, but those are the last animals that I would probably ever care about having. You name them all, Julia. It's crazy how we have animals like cats and dogs. Their ancestors are literally lions, panthers, wolves, etc. How did they separate so much like that? Well, I'm going to have to go in a minute, you guys, because I'm getting my groceries delivered at 1. And then I have to call somebody. But we domesticated dogs. Cats domesticated themselves. And so, yep, dogs are the protectors of the physical, and cats are the protector of our spirit, which is why Egyptians would get buried with their cats, because they wanted to make sure that their cat was going to be their guide as they navigated their way through the underworld to the other side when they passed. So, but it's kind of crazy because it's like, yeah, like we definitely, bred wolves for a certain purpose and trained them and domesticated them ourselves, but we as in humans. But cats, they just showed up one day and were like, it'd be cool if I got to live inside with y'all and I didn't really have to like be out here chasing down my own food and living in the wild and being always concerned about predators trying to come after me. And so they were just like, hi people, I'm cute. Did you know how much you love me? And we were just like, oh my God, give me. And that's just how it's been. Did you know that cats also haven't after, because they did evolve into being smaller like they are so that they could be those little pets, but like beyond that, they haven't changed a whole lot since the Egyptian times, like through like evolution or anything, but dogs all look very different and are very different these days. I just thought that was cool. I just like saw a whole video about that the other day. And that's the thing too, guys. Here's another tip I will leave you with. Watching animal videos in general has been a proven thing that can help people with their moods. But I always that's how I always say, I think I accidentally manifested all these cats anyways, because I just randomly started watching all these videos about cat rescues. And I realized no matter how upset or stressed out or whatever I was about something, I would become so overly invested in making sure the little Cheddars got a home after they found him in a ditch outside a soccer game one day, that by the end I'm all, oh my God, he got his forever home, and all excited for him that I forgot whatever the hell I was upset about before that. So I have never been happier with my Instagram feed as I am right now, because I realized yesterday when I was scrolling through it that like everything that I am not following that Instagram keeps showing to me is cat videos. And I'm like, I will continue to like these and let Instagram know that this is what I want to see. I don't want to see ads for anybody's rose toy or yoni pearls or anything else that makes me want to vomit and scream TMI. I don't want to see any more croissant and Bluetooth posts, but I will watch every video of every kitten that they want to show me for till the end of time. So I am so happy that, that the algorithm has like worked in my favor for once. And now that I said that, I'm like, knock on wood, please stay that way. Because now I feel like Meta's listening to me and they're like, oh, you would love to know everything about croissant and Bluetooth? Let's like spam the hell out of you with it. And now I'm not going to be able to escape them or something. I was so scared to open my phone in public. Like somebody was texting me and they were like, oh, I sent you a DM, go open it. And I was like, I cannot, because I'm not home right now and I do not want to open Instagram in public because I'm always so afraid of some crazy ad that one of the blogs that I follow posted. You know, when people around me thinking I'm watching inappropriate things and I'm like, no, I'm not. And I wasn't trying to, and I don't want to see that either. So I just be like, I'll wait until I get home and then I'll look. You're going to have to wait. Well, I think at this point, everybody has a rose if they didn't already, so they don't really need to advertise it so much. Just wait. It'll be something else that they'll go nuts. That goes viral, and then they'll go nuts promoting everywhere, and that we'll all be traumatized by soon enough. And if it isn't some other adult thing, then it'll be all of the promotion for whatever the hell Carlos tries to do next. I'm just like, please. That's the other thing where I'm like, please don't put out another album, because I'm not going to be able to go on any blog except for It's On Site and Mob's World, because I'm going to be inundated with all kinds of fucking ads and posts about her and everything that she's doing, because they're gonna want to make her trend so that way we can all know that she put an album out. And it's just like, oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to escape her. I like the way that like I hardly ever see her anymore and people kind of have forgotten that she exists. So it's a toy, Mimi. Oh, my cup, my Hello Kitty cup? Is that what you were saying? It's like, it's all messed up, but, and I lost the top to it at some point. Listen, I've loved Hello Kitty forever. And I wasn't over here getting free cats until late recently, so I don't know if Hello Kitty is necessarily a sign that you're going to get a cat, Santa. Santa's about to go to Japan to adopt Hello Kitty. Listen, if that was like an option, I actually would take a flight and I would go with her to do that, but it's not. So, anyways, guys, I hope that we had some laughs. I hope that I gave you guys some decent tips. We will do more of these on the backup channel. Well, it's not really the backup channel. It's my second channel. It's just well, I feel like I have good time management skills. It's just the problem is I want to do more than I have time in the day to do. So eventually we will start posting over there more regularly. But in the meantime, guys, take care of yourself. I love you. Please know that you are never alone. Your ancestors are with you all the time. We care about you. You deserve happiness. You are important. You are smart. You are loved. The world would be a sad place without you. So please always reach out if you are having a hard time. Find somebody that you can have a conversation with. Don't do anything drastic. And be safe. And we will be back next Tuesday. And then we will switch to just doing lives on Tuesdays. And then on Thursdays, I will upload pre-recorded videos. So I love you all so much. I hope everybody has a good one. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.